Well, I hate to argue, sorry. Well, hi everybody. Hi. How are you? Welcome to the show. It's good to be back. Thank you for having me back. It's been a couple of months. It's been very long for us. I used to do every other month, but we skipped to this earlier in the spring. So it's nice to be back. For anybody who does not know me, my name is Michael Goodwin. I have been singing professionally pretty much my whole life. I started when I was 10 years old in my first professional show. Though my father does have a video of me in my diapers at 2, singing and dancing to Mozart. So I have been doing this. This is my thing. I know there are people who are afraid to be in front of the room. I am not that person. I love to be up here. I just love it. It gives me life. You know, when you're 4 of 6 kids and there's not a lot of food to go around, you learn how to, take a stage. So it's good to be back. If you've never seen one of my shows before, here's how they work. I sing, I lecture a little bit, I tell stories, I show video clips. It's a multimedia presentation. The words to the songs are always on the screen. So if you know them and you want to sing along, you are welcome to join in. You will definitely know some of these. You might not know everything. You might not know everything, but it's possible. It's entirely possible that you will. I love this program. I love the 70s for musical theater for a couple of reasons. Just going to turn this up just a touch. So, Rodgers and Hammerstein came out with Oklahoma, right? And they changed Broadway, they changed musical theater, and really gave it its own voice. Then the 60s came around, rock and roll, the youth culture, and musical theater wasn't really that, but it wasn't the traditional opera either, and it was sort of finding its footing through the 60s, and then in the 70s, it created itself as its own genre. And it's really a very American thing, and it's kind of amazing when it's created, because there are musicals done all around the world, but the structure and the way that they're built, that was an American invention, and I really love that aspect of it. And the 70s reflect this, so shows started to change a lot in the 70s. This is when you had Sondheim come in, and you had Andrew Lloyd Webber come in, and you had rock operas, and you had composers testing what you could actually do on stage. It wasn't necessarily as important to walk out of a theater humming a melody as much as it was walking out of a theater thinking about something in a new way, and that was very important. And sometimes the shows, you do have to listen to them a couple of times before you get them in your ears. Sondheim, for example, is my favorite, but not everybody loves Sondheim. He can be very polarizing, so that's why I pepper him in. Andrew Lloyd Webber, we've done it before, it's been a couple of years, but I do an Andrew Lloyd Webber program that's an hour of Andrew Lloyd Webber, because even if you don't love him, you can hear some of his great music for an hour and be okay with it. Sondheim, some people just can't do it. And I totally get it, even though he's my favorite. So, the decade reflects this transition. So you have musicals like Sweeney Todd, for example, which were completely mind-bending and very different. But then you also have Annie, which is a classic musical. It's just classic. It is the same structure, and it's another one of those shows. And the whole decade is peppered with these different things, and I love it. So we're going to start with Annie, because it is a classic. And Harold Gray, the comic, Little Orphan Annie, that's what it's based on. And the music is by Charles Strauss, lyrics by Martin Charnin, and Thomas Meehan wrote the book. Now, he is going to come up a lot when we go through the 70s and the modern classics. This guy has his fingerprints on a lot of different things. He really was very involved. The original production opened in 1977. It ran for almost 6 years. Numerous productions. You've got movies. The original movie, I remember I grew up with the original movie. I loved it. And it won the Tony for Best Musical. But it wasn't really going that way when they were first doing it. But we have 2 songs. The Hard Knock Life, very well known, and of course Tomorrow, which has become a Broadway classic. Now, the Hard Knock Life, we're going to start. So as a kid, the movie version, the original movie, I remember watching this, thinking to myself, I don't know, living in an orphanage doesn't seem that bad. These kids look like they're having a lot of fun.
It's the It's easier to put enough apart. No one's there when your dreams at night get creepy. No one cares if you grow or if you shrink. No one tries when your eyes get red and weepy. From the crying you would think you couldn't sing. Empty belly life, rotten smelly life, full of sorrow life, no tomorrow life. Santa Claus we never see. Santa Claus, what's that? Who's he? No one cares for you, us fish. When you're in an orphanage, it's a hard knock life. You'll stay up. To this dome shines like the top of the Chrysler Building. Kill! Get the whiskers from her chin, little pig dropping. Shove her with a safety pin. Like an orphan. Make her drink a Mickey Finn. Nobody loves I love you, Miss Hannigan. Get to work. Spit this thing. Scrub that floor. Polish my shoes. And I mean, start now. It's a hard knock life for us. It's a hard knock life for us. No one cares for you, us fish. When you're in an orphanage, it's a hard knock life. It's a hard knock life.
Right? It looks fun. It's cute, right? It's cute. So Tomorrow is one of the most well-known songs from Broadway. And I have to admit, I don't love this song because it's hard for me sometimes the way I hear it sung. It's in this very unusual register for a kid, and the girls who usually have to sing have to kind of yell a little bit to get the song out. So it's just hard for me as a person who sings to hear the song a lot. But it is a good song. It was originally in a little short film called Replay, and it was called The Way We Live Now. Then it was put in a musical version of Flowers for Algernon. But in Washington, D.C., when they were doing the out-of-town tryouts for Annie, it was having a little trouble. They couldn't quite get the groove of the show. So they took the song, written by Strauss for that as well, and put it in Annie, and it gave it that moment of hope, that thing at the beginning. Because what happens in this song, in the show, if you haven't seen it in a while, is Annie sings the song, finds Sandy on the street, is confronted by the officer who wants to take Sandy to the pound and has to convince the officer that Sandy is her dog. And that's what happens in the interlude in the middle of the song. And it's that little perfect magic moment. So here is Tomorrow in a slightly different version. I like this version. It's pretty cool. The sun'll come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun. Just thinking about tomorrow clears away the cobwebs and the sorrow till there's none. When I'm stuck with a day that's gray and lonely, I just stick out my chin and grin and say, oh, the sun'll come out tomorrow, so you gotta hang on till tomorrow. Come what may, tomorrow, I love ya, tomorrow, you're always a day away. Here's the little interlude. I shortened it though. It's very long in the show. And I'm stuck with a day that's gray and lonely. I just stick out my chin and grin and say, oh, the sun will come out tomorrow, so you gotta get on till tomorrow. Come what may, tomorrow, I love you tomorrow. You're always a day away. Tomorrow, I love you tomorrow. Always a day. That's a nice version, isn't it? I really like that version. It's really good. All right, Pippin. Who's heard of Pippin? Yes, it's a good one. This is a good one. I know, I'm probably a little loud. Sorry about that. All right, so this is a Tony Award-winning musical with music and lyrics by Stephen Schwartz, who is very well known, a little overshadowed actually by Andrew Lloyd Webber and Stephen Sondheim in the publicity department. He has written some great shows, and the one that's on Broadway right now, Wicked. He did Wicked, and it's like his claim to fame. He actually has a new one coming out with Christian Chenoweth, The Queen of Versailles, which I'm assuming is about Marie Antoinette. Now, Bob Fosse directed the original Broadway production that contributed to the libretto, and the musical uses the premise of a mysterious performance troupe led by a leading player to tell the story of Pippin, a young prince on his search for meaning and significance. Now, this is one of these songs, Corner of the Sky. You're going to hear about halfway through, you get that sort of 70's kick coming in. It's really it's a little cheesy, but that's what I love about Broadway. It's just one of my favorite. It's why I wasn't very good at opera. Right? Opera is a little staid for me, and I'm a dork. I love cheesy. I really do, and Broadway just lets me be a goofball. So here we go. Everything has its season, everything has its time. Show me a reason and I'll soon show you a rhyme. Cats fit on the windowsill, children fit in the snow. Why do I feel I don't fit in anywhere I go? Rivers belong where they can ramble. Eagles belong where they can fly. I've got to be where my spirit can run free. Gotta find my corner of the sky. Every man has his daydreams, every man has his goal. People like the way dreams have of sticking to the soul. Thunderclouds have their lightning, nightingales have their song. And don't you see, I want my life to be something more than long. Rivers belong where they can ramble. Eagles belong where they can fly. I've got to be where my spirit can run free. Gotta find my corner of the sky. So many men seem destined to settle for something small. but I won't rest until I know I'll have it all. So don't ask where I'm going, just listen when I'm gone. And far away you'll hear me singing softly to the dawn. Rivers belong where they can ramble. Eagles belong where they can fly. I've got to be where my spirit can run free. Gotta find my corner of the sky. Good one, isn't it? All right, Sweeney Todd. Before I get into my favorite musical of all time, I forgot to wish a happy birthday to Elaine. Happy, happy birthday. A little birdie, a little yellow birdie told me. So everybody, happy birthday, Elaine. Happy birthday. Thank you for coming on your birthday. I really appreciate that. I love that. So. I'm not going to say, but I'm not going to reveal to everybody else in case I might know it.
Everybody, it's a new decade. It's more than the 7th and less than the 9th.
Gee, let me think, put on my Sherlock Holmes hat here. Well, you look fantastic for 60, so.
It's not very good. It's only 50.
50, sorry, 50. Well, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. All right, so Sweeney Todd, my favorite musical. Yeah, see, this is perfect. This is, Sweeney and Mrs. Lovett. All right, so Sweeney himself is a fictional character. He first appeared in a Penny Dreadful called The String of Pearls. And in the story, Sweeney is shipped off by a corrupt judge to Australia. He's sent to transportation to Australia because the judge wants Sweeney's wife for himself. Sweeney escapes many years later and is rescued at sea by a young sailor named Antony. They sail into London, they get off the ship, they go their separate ways, and Antony actually stumbles across Sweeney's now grown daughter, Joanna, but he doesn't know this, of course, at the time. So he sings this song about Joanna because out of context, it sounds like he's a bit of a creep. But what he's actually doing is he's saying he's going to rescue her because the judge has been keeping her locked up. Right? So, and then the judge realizes that she's blossoming into a beautiful young woman and decides that he wants to actually marry his ward himself. And Antony wants to rescue her. He wants to steal her away. That's what the song is about. And this is a really beautiful example of how Stephen Sondheim's composition is so smart. So he was one of the very first Broadway composers to give characters a motif of their own. So Joanna is Antony's motif. But this song happens very early in the show, and it feels incomplete. And you'll notice it at the end. It's like it's over, but it's not really over. And that's because his journey isn't over. And every character has a moment like that in the show where they finally get to complete their song or their story. And his is in the quintet in the second act, and it's perfect in the quintet. So in this moment, you might be left just a little bit shy of resolution. And I think that was the point. So here we go. Ha. I feel you, Joanna. I feel you. I was half convinced I'd waken, satisfied enough to dream you. Happily, I was mistaken, Joanna. I'll steal you, Joanna. Do they think that walls can hide you? Even now I'm at your window. I am in the dark beside you, buried sweetly in your yellow hair. I feel you, Joanna, and one day I'll steal you. Till I'm with you then, I'm with you there, sweetly buried in your yellow hair. Great, right? You can feel the incompleteness of it, right? All right, so in the story, you're familiar with Stephen King, right? The writer. So he writes these horror movies and horror stories, but he's got this very weird sense of humor to his stories. If you read them enough, you kind of get that he's actually poking fun at things. And Sweeney Todd is the same way. I went and I saw it in December with Josh Groban down in and Anna Lee Ashford. His voice, fantastic, but I got to tell you, she stole that show. She was amazing. And the thing that the whole cast got, I've seen every recorded production of this show that there is to see. It was the first musical I ever saw. I was 13, I was probably a little too young. I was 13 years old, I was in 7th grade. We went as a school trip to go see it. The Virginia Opera Company put it on as an opera. And it was perfect for an opera, because it's totally ridiculously melodramatic and over the top. It's perfect for an opera. They got the sense of humor in this Broadway production, and this national tour, I could not recommend more highly, that when it does come in 2025, get tickets, because it's going to be the same staging, and it's so very, very good. And they just got that sense of humor in the show. So it's set in 19th century England. It talks about Sweeney Todd. Judge Turpin exiles him. He makes his way back to get revenge, of course, and he practices his barbering skills on the locals. Now, he is actually threatened with discovery and blackmailed, and in an act of self-defense, he kills the guy, and he doesn't know what to do with the body. And Mrs. Lovett, who owns the meat pie shop downstairs, comes up with a rather gruesome solution. Of course, we all know what that is, but I don't do that song because we talk about it in my Halloween show. Appropriate, I think. Toby, who is a young boy who works for Mrs. Lovett, he's a little naive. He's a little dumb. Ironically, he is the first person to recognize Sweeney for what he is. Unfortunately, he doesn't recognize Mrs. Lovett as the same thing, and reveals to her that he knows who Sweeney is, and he sings it in this very sweet song, which ends to her kind of betraying him, which is too bad. But the song, another one of Sondheim's sneaky little beauties. I really like the song. So here we go. Nothing's gonna harm you, he says. Nothing's gonna harm you, not while I'm around. Nothing's gonna harm you, no sir, not while I'm around. Demons are prowling everywhere nowadays. I'll send them howling, I don't care. I got ways. No one's gonna hurt you, no one's gonna dare. Others can desert you, not to worry, whistle, I'll be there. Demons will charm you with a smile for a while, but in time, nothing can harm you, not while I'm around. Not to worry, I may not be smart, but I ain't dumb. I can do it, put me to it, show me something I can overcome. Not to worry, Mom. Being close and being clever ain't like being true. I don't need to, I will never hide a thing from you. Like some. No one's gonna hurt you, no one's gonna dare. Others can desert you, not to worry, whistle, I'll be there. Demons will charm you with a smile for a while, but in time, nothing's gonna harm you, not while I'm around. That's surprisingly sweet, isn't it? All right, Grease. Definitely a shift in gears. Named after the 1950s United States working class youth subculture known as Greasers. Greasers came out in 1971 and is set in 1959 at Rydell High School, which is actually based on William Howard Taft School in Chicago. It actually opened in Chicago first, the show did. It follows 10 working-class teenagers, and the story revolves around Sandy, the new perfect transfer student, and Danny, the boy she met over the summer. Sandy is the sweet innocent, and Danny is the leader of the gang, the T-Birds, and has to put on a tough guy act for his friends and reputation, of course.
Hey, I want to hear about what Danny did at the beach.
That was nothing. Sure, nothing's so good, right?
Come on, Danny. You got her drawers, right? Yeah. Come on. Tell us about that girl.
What'd you do this summer, Sandy?
Oh, I spent most of it at the beach. I met a boy there.
Hauled your cookies all the way to the beach for some guy?
Well, he was sort of special.
There ain't no such thing.
He was really romantic.
Come on,
You don't want to hear all the horny details.
Are you kidding me?
Are you?
Summer loving had me a blast.
Summer loving happened so fast.
I met a girl crazy for me.
Met a boy cute as can be.
Summer days drifting away to other summer nights.
Tell me more, did you get very far?
Tell me more, like does he have a car?
She swam by me, she got a cramp.
He ran by me, got me so damn.
I saved her life, she nearly drowned.
He showed off, splashing around.
Summer sun, something's begun, but other summer nights.
Tell me more, wasn't love at first sight?
Tell me more, did she put up a fight?
Took a bowling in the arcade.
We went strolling, drank lemonade.
We made out under the dark.
We stayed out till 10 o'clock.
Summer fling don't mean a thing, but other summer nights.
Tell me more, but you don't gotta brag.
Tell me more.
This sounds like a drag.
He got friendly, holding my hand.
Well, she got friendly down in the sand.
He was sweet, just under 10.
Well, she was good, you know what I mean. I told her we'd still be friends.
Then we made our true love vow.
Wonder what she's doing now. Summer dreams ripped at seams, but those summer
I love that show. Love it. By the way, Olivia Newton-John was my obsession as a child. I had her Greatest Hits Volume 1 and 2, the record, and I used to just stare at it. It was so bad that my mother actually took me one day by the shoulders and she said, "You know Olivia Newton-John burps just like the rest of us, right?" Like, it was worship. I loved her. All right, so one of the other main characters, Frenchie, Sandy's cousin, decides that she's had enough of high school and wants to become a beautician. Unfortunately, she's not very good at that either. And one night, as she falls asleep in the malt shop, the ice cream parlor, she dreams of the teen angel, a 1950s-inspired guardian angel who comes to sing some sense into her. And it's Frankie Avalon, of course. And beauty school dropout. So the Algonquin Playhouse did Grease several years ago, and I played Teen Angel in that production. It was really fun. Another one of those super duper cheesy roles, and I love it. So here is Beauty School Dropout. Now, there are a couple of typos in the thing. One of them is, still the world is cruel, not cool. And at the beginning, it says smile, and it's supposed to say smock. And I don't know why, and I've got to fix it, and I keep forgetting. So, here we go. Your story's sad to tell. A teenage ne'er-do-well, most mixed up, non-delinquent on the block. Your future's so unclear now. What's left of your career now? Can't even smock get a trade-in on your smile. School dropout, no graduation day for you. Beauty school dropout, missed your midterms and flung shampoo. Well, at least you could have taken time to wash and clean your clothes up after spending all that dough to have the doctor fix your nose up. Baby, get moving. Why keep those feeble hopes alive? What are you proving? Not the dream, but not the drive. If you go for your diploma, you can join a steno pool, turn in your teasing comb, and go back to high school. Beauty school dropout, hanging around the corner store. Beauty school dropout. It's about time you knew the score. Well, they couldn't teach you anything. You think you're such a looker, but no customers would go to you unless she was a hooker. Woo! Not very nice. Baby, don't sweat it. You're not cut out to hold a job. Better forget it. Who wants their hair done by a slob? Now your bangs are curled, your lashes twirled, but still the world is cruel. Wipe off that angel face and go back to high school. Baby, don't blow it. Don't put my good advice to shame. Baby, you know it. Even dear Abby say the same. I've called the shot. Get off the pot. I've really got to fly. Gotta be going to that malt shop in the sky. This school dropout, go back to high school. School dropout, go back to high school. This school dropout, go back to high school. That's great, isn't it? I love that song. All right, so the score attempts to recreate the sounds of early rock and roll, and the original version was incredibly raunchy. It was raw, it was aggressive, it was very vulgar, and subsequent productions toned it down. It had to get to Broadway, right, and had to reach a broader crowd. So from its rough origins, it has been successful on the stage, on the screen, and it dealt with some things that people hadn't really talked about in a musical before. You had the teenage characters dealing with sex and sexual exploration, and you had all these sort of class conflict things. It was a very interesting show. When it closed in 1980, it had run for 3,388 performances, longest in Broadway history, and it was finally surpassed a few years later by A Chorus Line. It is still Broadway's 15th longest running show. All right, one of the most memorable songs, of course, is Greased Lightnin'. And it's not the end of the show, but it's such a good song, I thought it would end our little segment on Grease. And this is John Travolta and the Boys, and it does have some dirty words in it, but this is from the movie, and I love this show. So I love this version. Here we go.
Now, come on, guys. Look, this car could be a major piece of machinery. Do you know that? Now, look at this. Well, this car could be systematic, hydromatic, ultramatic. Why could be greased lightning?
So we'll get some overhead lifters and 4-barrel quads, oh yeah. Keep talking, whoa, keep talking. Fuel injection cut off and chrome plated rods, oh yeah. We'll get already, we'll get already. With the 4-speed on the floor, they were waiting at the door. You know that ain't no shit where they get licensed. Greased lightning. Go, greased lightning, you're burning up the quarter mile. Greased lightning, go, greased lightning. Go, greased lightning, you're coasting through the hip lap drives. Greased lightning.
I love that song. Love it. All right, our last show we're going to talk about is Sondheim. It's Follies by Sondheim. This has some of his, in my opinion, some of his best music. I really love it. So the musical opened in 1971. It was nominated for 11 Tonys and had won 7. And you wonder why you don't hear it so often, and we'll get into that in a minute. So the show focuses on 2 couples. You've got Buddy and Sally and Benjamin and Phyllis. They are attending a reunion at a crumbling Broadway theater that was used for something, think of the Ziegfeld Follies, but it was called the Weissman Follies during World War I and World War II. And they performed there when they were younger, and they are there to attend a party before the theater is demolished. So the story, it's kind of, in a way, it's reflective of the 1970s. It tells in flashbacks. So you have these stories of them when they were younger, dealing with all the music and the drama of that time period. And then you have them as older, also dealing with the drama of aging and looking back on their lives as they come to this reunion. So this song that I'm going to sing, it's a love song, sort of. It's a song of obsession. It's a song of betrayal. It's a song of anger. It's a song of sadness, but it's also a song of, I understand all of that, but I still am in love with you. That's really, to me, the message of this song, in spite of the betrayal. And I love, this is a whopper of a song, and if you know it, it's losing my mind. If you know this song, I sing it slightly differently than it's written, so please forgive my arrangement. I just feel it has a little dramatic impact to it. So here we go. The sun comes up, I think about you. The coffee cup, I think about you. I want you so, it's like I'm losing my mind. The morning ends, I think about you. I talk with friends, I think about you. And do they know it's like I'm losing my mind? All afternoon doing every little chore, the thought of you stays bright. Sometimes I stand in the middle of the floor, not going left, not going right. I dim the lights and think about you, spend sleepless nights to think about you. You said you loved me, or were you just being kind? Or am I losing my mind? All afternoon doing every little chore, the thought of you stays bright. Sometimes I stand in the middle of the floor, not going left. I dim the lights and think about you, spend sleepless nights to think about you. You said you loved me, or were you just being kind? am I losing my A stupendous piece of music. Love that song so much. All right, so in the show, several of the former players perform their old numbers, sometimes accompanied by the ghosts of themselves as when they were younger. And the show has some of Sondheim's most fantastic numbers, including I'm Still Here, really made famous by Elaine Stritch, and then we've got her doing it in her one-woman show that she did a few years ago, and she won the Tony for this show. So here we go.
Not long ago, I was talking to Stephen Sondheim about a song that he wrote called I'm Still Here. And in conversation, I mentioned that I had heard women in their 60s sing I'm Still Here. And on several occasions, women in their 50s sing I'm Still Here. A few times, women in their 40s sing I'm Still Here. Where have they been? So I told him, not that he asked me, but I told him that I wouldn't touch that song until I felt justified to sing it. Till I was what? I don't know, 80 years old. I'm still here and I'm 80 years old. But you know, it's such a terrific song. And I'm not going to wait 20 years to sing it. What are you laughing at? Good times and bum times, I've seen them all, and my dear, I'm still here. Plush velvet sometimes just pretzels and beer, but I'm here. I've stuffed the dailies in my shoes, strummed ukuleles, sung the blues, seen all my dreams disappear, but I'm here. I've slept in shanties, guest of the WPA, but I'm here. Danced in my scanties, $3 a night was the pay, but I'm here. I've stood on bread lines with the best, watched while the headlines did the rest. In the Depression, was I depressed? Nowhere near. I met a big financier, so I'm here. I've gotten through Herbert and J. Edgar Hoover. Gee, that was fun and a half. When you've been through Herbert and J. Edgar Hoover, anything else is a laugh. Black Sable one day, next day it goes into hot, but I'm here. Top billing Monday, Tuesday you're touring in stock, but I'm here. First you're another slow-eyed vet, then someone's mother, then your camp, then you career from career to career. I'm almost through my memoirs, and I'm here. I've gotten through. Hey, lady, aren't you? Who's this? Wow, what a looker you were. Or better yet, sorry. I'm sorry. I thought you were who's this. You know, whatever happened to her? Good times and bum times, I've seen them all, and my dear, still here. Plush velvet sometimes, sometimes just pretzels and beer, but I'm here. I have run the gamut, A to Z. 3 cheers, damn it, say la vie. I got through all of last year, and I'm here. Christ knows, at least I was there, and I'm here. Look who's here. I'm still here.
Not bad for 60. All right, so the show was actually very popular, but because it jumped back and forth in time, they had to have 2 whole casts, and it was just too expensive to maintain the show. Musically speaking, it was stellar, and that's the reason why it won 7 Tonys. All right, so this song, Bernadette Peters has kind of made this her signature song, but I'm going to sing it for my closing number today. This is Broadway Baby. I'm going to try not to knock you out of your chairs. I'm warning you now. Warning you now. All right, here we go. I'm just a Broadway baby, walking off my tired feet, pounding 42nd Street to be in a show. Broadway baby, learning how to sing and dance, waiting for that one big chance to be in a show. Oh, gee, I'd like to be on some marquee, all twinkling lights, a spark to fill the dark, from Battery Park to Washington Heights. Someday, maybe, all my dreams will be repaid. Heck, I'd even play the maid to be in a show. Hey, Mr. Producer, I'm talking to you, sir. I don't need a lot, only what I've got, plus a tube of grease paint and a fire spot. I'm a Broadway baby, slaving at the 5 and 10, dreaming of that great day when I'll be in a show. Broadway baby, making rounds all afternoon, eating at a greasy spoon to save on my dough. Whoa, at my tiny flat, there's just my cat, a bed and a chair. Still, I'll stick it till I'm on a bill all over Times Square. Some someday, maybe, if I stick it long enough, I may get to strut my stuff. Working for a nice man like a Ziegfeld or a Weissman in a great big Broadway Thank you very, very much. Thank you so much for coming to the show. Happy summer. Have a wonderful 4th of July next week. Until next time, mwah, hugs and kisses from a distance. It was a pleasure to see you all. Thank you for coming and seeing the show. You are very, very welcome. Thank you, everyone. I had a blast.